right, guys, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Just some stuff that's gone on over the weekend I did want to talk about. So with a new game coming to all of the consoles, but also Xbox Game Pass, which is an awesome game. It's gotten great reviews. Some more layoffs talked about with Xbox and Activision Blizzard, and some interesting information about PlayStation in the future, as well as the PS5 Pro and its performance, hitting 30 FPS for a big game. But before we continue, if you do enjoy a daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that sub, share the video, like the video if you enjoyed it, and check out my Spotify. Link is in the description. So we have this announcement here that happened, and it's awesome news because everything I've seen about this game and heard about this game has been phenomenal. And that is Nine Souls coming to PlayStation 4, the Switch, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and the big one here, Xbox Game Pass on November 26th. Right now on Metacritic, it sits at an 83 from the critics and an 8.8 here from user scores. But this is a Metroidvania game, and everything that I've heard and seen about this game, it does look absolutely phenomenal. A lot of people think this is a masterpiece of a video game. A lot of users give it 10s and everything. So a very cool game just to be coming out on consoles, because previously it was on PC. And now we are also getting it on Game Pass day one. So if you enjoy those styles of games, definitely you're going to want to check this one out when it does drop here on November 26th. Just another game added to Game Pass, which is going to be an insane end of the year, with games like Indiana Jones hitting the service day one. And then just, if you look at October alone, the list of games coming out in October is pretty crazy. So your backlog leading up to that coming out on Game Pass, as well as other games coming out, is going to be insane to try to get through. But you look at October, you have games like Dragon Age: The Veilguard coming out, which is looking really good. This is coming out on October 31st. Of course, you have Sonic and Shadow Generations, if you're a Sonic fan. I am. You have Call of Duty Black Ops 6, of course, jumping into Xbox Game Pass as well on October 25th. Unknown 9 Awakening, which actually looks really, really cool. That's also coming out in October. You got Metaphor ReFantasia, which there's a demo out right now if you haven't checked that out, October 11th. And just other games here like Starship Troopers Extermination. I'm sure people will be interested in playing that one as well. And New World, if you are an MMO fan, that is coming in October as well. So it's just crazy stuff here coming to Xbox in October and other platforms as well. But the amount of games between now and the end of the year, your backlog is going to be absolutely destroyed. Okay, let's talk about this PS5 Pro, because we're going to talk a lot about the PS5 Pro between now when it releases, after it releases, when we see benchmarks, comparing it to the Xbox Series X. It's going to beat the Xbox Series X in most things, you would assume, because it is the most powerful console. But it'd be interesting to just see by how much it does beat it, by how big of a gap there is between the PlayStation 5 Pro and the Xbox Series X. But one of the games that we have some benchmarks here for now, and just in terms of how it is performing, is with Alan Wake 2. Now, Alan Wake 2 is a very demanding game, and even on like the high-end GPUs, it demands a lot. But there is this here saying that it will run at 30 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 Pro with ray tracing on. So if you're expecting this to give you that 60 FPS, ray tracing, 4K, all of that stuff with every single game that comes out on PS5 Pro, that just won't be the case. I don't think that if you're buying this, that should be the expectations. There will be games that definitely look great, have 4K, have ray tracing, run at 60 FPS. A lot of it, I think, is going to have to do with the PSSR upscaling, which is going to be a huge factor in the PS5 Pro, as well as the next generation on both Xbox and on PlayStation. So there will be games, but then there will be other games like Alan Wake 2 that just won't hit that benchmark. It won't be for every single game. Go on here to say our graphics engineers at Remedy have greatly enjoyed improving Alan Wake 2 for the PS5 Pro together with the team at Sony Interactive. And that with a game like Alan Wake 2, where the mood and environment storytelling are essential, bringing ray tracing to the game as a brand new feature adds another layer of immersion. And they have also used additional power of the PS5 Pro to improve the visuals and effects in the 60 FPS performance mode, where we have upped the output resolution to 4K, making the experience look even better than before. So that's another boost for sure. 4K 60 in the performance mode, and then you're going to have the ray tracing mode at 30 frames per second. Obviously not on par with the high-end PC GPUs, but I still think it's pretty good for the PS5 Pro. It's pretty good for the console. You're not getting that on the other consoles. So we will see how this thing, again, like I said, stacks up when it is out versus the other consoles on the market. Now, when it comes to AI, machine learning, and everything for game development, it is a hot topic. You have a lot of developers who are against it. Publishers are probably for it, and big companies are probably for it because it will help with development time. Development time is a huge thing with increasing the costs of making these big games. If they can cut that down in any way, companies are going to want to do it. But we have here that Sony is really looking into this in terms of helping speeding up their development. It says on a report here that the Sony corporate report on page 16 that bolstering technologies that can help creators engage in maximizing the value of their IP in efficient, high quality ways, including sensing and capturing, as well as real-time 3D processing, AI, and machine learning. And they also say that PlayStation used machine learning in the production of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, applying voice recognition software in certain languages, and the process allowed the company to automatically synchronize subtitles with each character's lines, to significantly shortening the subtitling process. And that's where I think AI is going to have a big effect, at least right now in the short term. It's going to be with taking these roles, these jobs that are monotonous, that you're having to do things over and over and over again. That takes a long time. AI can come in here and probably just do it at a way faster rate than a human would be able to do it, and probably do it with still a relatively high degree of accuracy that it makes it worth it to use AI to do those types of things, speed up the development time, and then obviously save the cost. Will it affect some jobs? Probably, but at the end of the day, the companies are going to look at the best possible solutions to make the most return on their investment. Where I think AI will come in that will benefit the games a lot, and the consumers and the gamers, will be with NPCs, and how are they going to be able to make NPCs unique? Every single NPC in the world having different lines and different reactions and personalities. I think AI could do a lot of really cool things there to increase the immersions of the world. And I think that will be something that we will see further down the road, and companies will definitely want to partake in that. Then they also mentioned down here that they're using Unreal Engine to make short films, by saying using in real-time 3D processing. They're pursuing exploratory activities with Epic Games focused on the Unreal Engine, developed as a physics game engine for game CG generation. For instance, we reuse 3D CG components from a music video shot using virtual production to produce a game set in the same world, and release a proof of concept CG-based short film using the Unreal Engine. So lots of stuff here that Sony's taking part in technologically, and find ways to improve development and just make games more immersive. And that's going to be the huge battle going forward between all of the different companies out there. How can they utilize AI? How can they utilize all these new technologies that are emerging to improve their overall game development? Okay, let's talk here. There's some more layoffs here. Activision and Blizzard, they have laid off hundreds of Californian workers. They say that Activision Blizzards are the ones responsible, and they will soon be laying off nearly 400 people in the mobile gaming division of their company. So there are more layoffs coming that are going to be hitting, and it's a lot of it, I believe, has to do with redundancies. And of course, this always happens when there's a major merger. You have two people, one from Microsoft, one from the company that got merged, doing the same job. They are going to make layoffs because of that. They're not going to have spending extra money for more than one person doing the job that needs to be done. They say by doing this, it eliminates the redundancies among the staff after their expensive merge with Microsoft last year, which cost $75.4 billion. So more layoffs coming, 400 roles that are going to be laid off here in California. It's going to be insane, the amount of jobs that were lost in the gaming industry by the end of this year. The total will be just through the roof, and hopefully everyone ends up landing on their feet. Now we have this. This one is kind of a funny one. I would just right off the bat say, yeah, you probably should stay away from this and probably not give your money. But if you remember, the game the day before basically was a scam. They put out the game and then they shut it down. I forget how many days later, but it was just a disastrous launch. It was absolutely terrible. And the company behind it, fantastic. I believe they changed their name to something. It wasn't Fantastic when it first came out, but I could be wrong with that, but I believe they did change their name. But they are back here. They say, once you helped us create Fantastic through Kickstarter, today we need your help again to bring Fantastic back. Learn more and support it. So they are out here now putting out a new Kickstarter, asking for more money. And there's a community notes on this, which of course that's a good thing, because it most likely will be another scam. Let's just be real about this. So I would caution against giving money, but it says warning, potential scam before you consider giving Fantastic money. Remember what they lied about the state of the day before to investors, volunteers, and the gaming community. So pretty crazy. They have no shame. They're right back at it. Not even that long after the days before got shut down and the studio, I believe, closed and everything. And they're out here trying to collect money for a new campaign here, which we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they make the money for it. Gamers, they will give their money if they truly believe in that cause and they're fans of a studio. They will just ignore that they got scammed the first time and they'll give their money again. So we'll see. I would not be surprised if there are some gamers out there that give money to Fantastic because of the promises that they are making that probably will be sounding too good to be true. Now, Ubisoft, we know Ubisoft is in a world of hurt right now. It's going to be huge for them to bounce back with Assassin's Creed Shadows. When it does release in February, the sales of that, I think, will be very big in the future direction of the company. But it looks like xDefiant as well is falling behind expectations. They say, this week, the news with that xDefiant is struggling with somewhat under the radar following what is arguably one of Ubisoft's most challenging periods in recent memory. And part of the major announcements, they had a trading call update. And during the call, Guillemot answered questions about why the company had reduced its second quarter revenue expectations by 30%. And Nicholas Langlet of BNP Paribas asked, so the Q2 guidance, is it only Star Wars Outlaws or is there something else underperforming in the portfolio? Guillemot replied, it mostly reflects the softer than expected sales of Star Wars Outlaws. We also had behind expectations for xDefiant, which we will give you a bit more detail at the end of October. To a much lesser extent, with a limited impact, was a lower expectation for xDefiant. So obviously a less impact. I mean, Star Wars Outlaws having not as good sales is going to have a much bigger impact with the dev, with costs of that. And obviously the Star Wars IP, you expected to do big numbers, and it clearly did not do the numbers that they expected. But xDefiant as well is softer than they have expected. And I wonder if xDefiant has a chance here, because I think it's a good game. I think it is fun, but I think there's been some content issues as well. And it gets overshadowed by other shooters out there. And Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is absolutely going to overshadow xDefiant. So I wonder if this game has a chance at lasting. We will see. We'll see if it does bounce back. I think the player base, it does have a loyal player base and they will play, but they have to get more loyal gamers in there as it is a brand new first-person shooter. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.